We don't have anything personal. And it's neat old stuff. Not. I'd like to see the setup and everything.
Give me a moment. I'm waiting on Nicole.
I start the month off with, oh my goodness.
Mr. Bolton, everything changed. Right?
Oh,
That's all.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I know, I thought, yeah.
We wish it.
What'd you do with it? Yeah, retirement. Yeah, oh, yeah. Somebody said, no one for the period. And I was thinking the same thing, we're trying to fill it, you would get it. Okay.
Okay, this is the 25th of September. This is Department of Aging Advisory Board. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And our first issue on our agenda would be a roll call.
Terry Collins,
Here.
Carol Zawacki,
Here.
Gloria Bortnichek,
Here.
Russ Amo,
Here.
Darwin Van Devender,
Yes.
Jeff DeCenzo, Bert Fenby, Ralph Tillotson, Carol Bolton, Chris Peoples,
Here.
Alan Dickerson,
Here.
Julie Hackett.
And welcome, Ken. Approval of the minutes would be next.
There are no additions or corrections. I move they be accepted as submitted.
Support. Any corrections or changes? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? No? Okay. And we're on presentation. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I have a little bit of a scratchy voice. Today was our annual meeting, and I'll tell you more about that, but that's why I'm a little scratchy. But we are
Sounds
happy.
good to me.
All relative, isn't it, Terry? I am happy to introduce you to Nicole Baker from Wellwise Services. We talk about Wellwise a lot, and so I have invited her to be here for a few minutes and share what Wellwise is, what they do, and how are we really aligned in serving older adults. Nicole, the floor is yours.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Carrie. And good afternoon to everybody. So as Carrie was saying, there is a big staff training going on today, and my counterpart who operates our assistive technology program is over there as we speak, giving a show and tell demonstration, which is a great presentation to have maybe for this group. I just thought of that, Carrie. So I am Nicole Baker. I'm the Chief Services Officer at Wellwise. So we are an area agency on aging. If it's a term that is maybe not well known, I can give some information. So sometimes people refer to us as the AAA. Sometimes that gets confusing because people think we are an insurance agency, which we are not. But a few years ago, we changed our name from Region 2 Area Agency on Aging to Wellwise Services Area Agency on Aging. At about that time, we also built a new building in Brooklyn, which was conveniently right across the street from our old building, which made moving a little bit easier. So we serve Jackson, Lenawee, and Hillsdale County. Area agencies on aging are present in every county in the state of Michigan. The way that it's structured in Michigan is that we have a state unit on aging, which here is Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. In other states, it's structured a little bit different. Sometimes in other states, there's one area agency on aging, and then there are service providers that work with them. In the state of Michigan, it's structured that way. There are 640 area agencies on aging nationwide. They started as a result of the Older Americans Act of 1965, which is a federal act that made sure that older adults and caregivers across the country had access to services and supports. And that's what we do all day. One of our very valued partners is the Lenawee County Department on Aging. I was trying to find an old contract so I could actually reference the year, but it's been decades and decades that we've been valued partners. And I feel like I want to talk a little bit about maybe some of the parts of our agency that you all maybe not be familiar with or don't see as often. And I will touch on what Carrie was mentioning about the ways that we partner. So as an area agency on aging, we have standard programs that are evident in most area agencies on aging across the country. So we deliver services as well as funds to local service providers in kind of some major categories. So transportation is a major category. In-home services or personal care is a major category. Also, home delivered meals, senior centers. So it's kind of those larger categories is what is evident in all area agencies on aging, but each one structures things a little bit differently. And the reason for that is because Older Americans Act funds are very unique in the way that they are used at a very, very local level. So the services that we fund, say in Hillsdale County, may not be what's exactly right for specific neighborhoods, maybe in Adrian. And it's pretty unique in human services to be able to have that kind of creativity and flexibility to really make those funds work best for the communities that they're supporting. It happens to be one of my favorite parts about our agency. And the beauty in that is that we are required and happy to do so, but to seek feedback from the communities that we serve. The way that works is there's what's called a multi-year plan cycle. Usually those are every 3 years. This year is a little bit different because it's a 4-year cycle, last minute change that the state of Michigan made last year. But typically every 3 years, we administer a community needs survey. That's the way that we choose to do it in partnership with our contractors. Other states do it differently. So that actually is coming up for us pretty soon, where there will be a community needs survey that will go out. It is to help advise us of how best to utilize funding in the 3 counties that we serve. And then from there, we look at the results of those survey findings, and then we reconcile that with the dollar amount that the state tells us that we can likely expect. So typically those magical numbers come out to us usually around February or March. And then from there, we take a look at what are the needs of the community, what can we do with the finite amount of funding that we have, and then we put together what we think is the best plan that we can with that information. After that, there is a public hearing. Actually, there will be several public hearings this year because it's a multi-year plan year. And we will hold those in each of our 3 counties. And that information then lets us know, are we on the right track, or is there maybe something that's going on in a certain area that we serve that needs a little bit more attention? So then we look at that information and make any tweaks or adjustments that we need to, and then we will put out a request for proposal. And that is when we would likely see agencies like Lenawee County Department on Aging, also Jackson County Department on Aging, Hillsdale County Senior Services Center, may know it as Perennial Park. But those are 3 what we call our focal points in each of our 3 counties. So The request for proposal goes out and it shows the amount of funding that's available for each service category in each county that we serve. The funding that we receive through the Older Americans Act, some is kept in-house to support the direct services that we provide. And then the rest is put out into the community for grants. And following some very long deliberations following the RFP bids and presentations that we see, then we make decisions about how that funding will be distributed. From there, we kind of go on to what we consider like a standard year or an annual implementation year, where during those multi-year plan phases, we do have the opportunity to make some changes each year annually to our plan and our funding structure. If it's something that's really big, like a big change, for instance, some of our colleagues at Valley Area Agency on Aging, if you remember the Flint water crisis, so that happened when it happened. It didn't just coincide with a multi-year plan. And so they had the flexibility to be able to shift and make sure that there were services available for people that were affected by that. So when it's something large like that, we do have the opportunity to go to the State Commission on Aging. So it's a governor appointed body that advises Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, as well as area agencies on aging, on how services can be delivered. And we do that through going to committee meetings, talking to them about the needs, and then suggesting changes when they're needed. The majority of our guidance comes from Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The federal government, or the federal arm of the Older Americans Act, flows through our State Unit on Aging. And then we work with our contractors, like Lenawee Department on Aging, on the service standards that are required. We frequently give input on how we think some of the services that are outlined in their service standards maybe should be altered. Most recently, there was a big update to the service standards, and it was the first time since 1987. So there were a lot of things that were changed recently, and we were able to put in a lot of feedback about that. So that's another really nice, unique opportunity that we have there. So we have sort of two large sections of our agency. We have our Older Americans Act section, which I just finished speaking about. And then we also are a My Choice Medicaid waiver agent. So not all area agencies on aging in the state of Michigan are Medicaid waiver agents, but let's see, 14 of the 16 are. So we administer My Choice Medicaid waiver services to individuals in all three of our counties. There is income eligibility requirements. There are also level of care requirements. So the way that we think about it is that the person that's on the waiver program would need to be likely in a nursing facility for them to be able to have the care that they need. But we're able to put those services in somebody's home or community, which is most often where people would prefer to live. So that is the through line that you'll see in all of the programs and services that we offer at our agency, is trying to help people to be able to remain in their communities and homes of choice. We have a few other programs. I could go on a laundry list, but I won't do that. But some of the high points, we have a community transitions program. So that helps individuals who are living in nursing facilities that are experiencing barriers to being able to return to the community. Lots of times, say if somebody's been in a nursing facility for a long time, maybe they don't have a place to live anymore. Maybe their lease expired, or where they're living with, that situation's not working out. Sometimes somebody may enter a nursing facility and they're living independently, but then when they leave, maybe they need to use a wheelchair, maybe they need other adaptive equipment. And so kind of the list goes on of the things that we assist people with in that program. We have other case management programs that are grant funded that do not require any Medicaid eligibility. So that's our tiered care program. We do a lot of work with Lenawee Department on Aging in that program. where folks come to us and we provide case management. We try to get them in touch with the resources that they need. And one of the big referral sources for that is Lenawee Department on Aging. I think a really great description of that would be, so we have individuals on our tiered care program that live in Lenawee County that will make sure that they speak with their case manager from Wellwise monthly. They have regular assessments, their medications are reviewed, et cetera, et cetera. And then the Lenawee Department on Aging staff goes in and completes care, provides transportation, delivers meals. And there's the goal is to have wraparound supports for that person. Our staffs speak regularly and know each other very well, often live in the same communities and neighborhoods, and there's a long history there. I would like to touch also on our community education program. Our community education program actually is pretty well known. We have some very gifted facilitators that have been helpful for the Department on Aging to receive some training. And they also we're able to offer a variety of workshops and different education opportunities to individuals, most often without charge. A lot of that is focused on helping prevent issues related to chronic conditions. We also have an enhanced fitness program where people can come to our location in Brooklyn and they can have chair exercise classes. We're about to start cardio drumming. So some things like that at our new location that have been helpful. And then I just would like to close with a recent compliment that Lenawee Department on Aging received at the MDHHS fall, they call it the fall all-star meeting. And so that happened last week, and Wellwise was asked to present on how do you maintain good relationships with contractors? Because that's not always something that everyone around the state has a good handle on. We're very fortunate in our area to have really great relationships with our departments on aging and then perennial part. And so in the course of that presentation, we were sharing like meeting agendas and things that are usually topics at our annual meetings, and then also ways that our area agency on aging staff and the Department on Aging staff work together each month to reconcile reports, talk about meal counts, unit costs, all those kinds of things that just for us sort of seem like a matter of regular business, and in other areas of the state are not as well known, and they are certainly not currently in action. And we received, I think now I've received about 5 different emails from different area agencies on aging asking if they could come and meet with our staff and also meet with the Department on Aging staff to find out how do we replicate having a good relationship in our area. So Carrie doesn't know that, but we'll schedule that. We'll schedule that soon. But I could go on and on, but I will not do that. But if there are any questions that I can answer, or Carrie, if there's anything I didn't touch on that you'd like me to, I'd be happy to.
I have a question about the surveys.
Sure.
Survey, do you
Mhm.
mail the surveys out to, okay,
Yes. So we use Microsoft Forms, so we can print them and mail them to people. We can send somebody an electronic link to complete them out. We can have folks call somebody and administer it over the phone, and then we enter it. We have them available at our office. They also go out with home delivered meals, and they're available at all the senior centers. We leave them at pharmacies and doctors' offices and every place that we can think of, because it's very important that we're getting the folks who are receiving the services currently. We want their feedback, but also we want to hear from people who are younger, who are our caregivers for maybe their parents or grandparents or a neighbor. We also serve people with disabilities, and so that can run the gamut of ages. So we try to be everywhere that we can. That survey will go out. It'll be probably about mid to late November.
Lori, you've probably completed one and not recognized that it was for Area Agency on Aging. We send them to the senior centers as well, and in paper.
Over here.
Not sure whose hand was up first.
All right. So I was in a conversation yesterday with a person in their seventies about rent and housing and fixed income, all things you've heard.
Yes.
And their final comment was, there's just not anywhere to turn in the state if I need help. And I said, there has to be. So it's fitting that you're here. So I'm going to ask you,
Mhm.
where do they turn if they need such assistance?
So I would tell them to call 517-592-1974, which is our main number. And
Can you give me that number again, please?
517-592-1974.
1974. Okay.
Yes, 1974, which is the year that our agency started. But we've actually just recently added a position, that will be, in effect, during the first quarter of fiscal year 26, that is really centered on housing. All of our staff are able to assist people with housing, but we felt it was really necessary, that we have somebody that was really dedicated to doing that. So we are able to assist with, applications for vouchers. We have really good relationships with landlords. Our Safe Haven program, we actually operate a quarterly meeting for landlords to kind of get together and talk about people need safe, accessible, affordable housing, and how do we make that a priority. So we have a number of services. It really depends on what that person's individual situation
Okay.
is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sure.
There's somewhat of an impending doom coming with the federal shutdown possible and at the state level. But
Yes.
is that causing you people some serious concern?
Well, it is the meeting I was in right before I came here. Yes. So it's a concern because we don't like the disruptions. We don't like all of the extra administrative time that we have to spend trying to work through those things and to help the people that we serve understand what's going on. But I can say that we spend a lot of time making sure that our contingency plans are as up to date as possible. Lenawee Department on Aging, as well as Carrie's counterparts, they submit contingency plans to us every year. We have a lot of conversations about this. At Wellwise, we are required by the state and also by our board of directors to make sure that we have a certain amount of months of cash on hand so that we can make sure that providers are paid and people have the services that they need. So impending doom, yes, it does seem that way, but I truly feel like we are as prepared as probably we can be.
I have one, what other agencies in Lenawee County do you work with?
Okay, so Lenawee Department on Aging is, probably our biggest contractor, in this county, but we also we also partner with a whole host of providers, on our My Choice Medicaid waiver side. So Visiting Angels, Comfort Care, I'm looking at Carrie because there's such a long, I could get you the list, but it's.
It is a long list.
It is, yes, it is.
Okay.
It's very long. Mhm.
To note that there are two different ways that they partner with us. They partner with us differently than that other.
Yes. Yes, and it's all tied to funding. If it's Medicaid funding or if it's grant funding, they're kind of two different avenues and two different provider pools.
Okay.
Nicole, the one thing that I'm going to ask you, I think you've touched on it, but do
Sure.
a little digger deep, is individuals who call and you have a great system of determining where that client might find assistance.
Sure. Options counseling? Okay. So we operate an options counseling department, which we have done for decades. Recently, the state of Michigan, launched, it's using a no wrong door methodology. They've changed the name of it again in the last couple of months, which is now called My Options. So MI for Michigan Options. The idea is to have a statewide call center, which is up and operating right now. And individuals from anywhere in the state can call one number and get information about long-term services and supports in whatever area they're in. So last fall, we submitted a bid for that grant funding opportunity, along with our partners, of which Lenawee Department on Aging is one, as well as Disability Connections, the Department on Aging in Jackson, also the Hillsdale County Community Health Agency. And together we are able to field all of those calls, and it works very well in the system that we already have set up because we've been doing that work for a long time. But it has provided a new source of funding for that, which was very badly needed. So the ways that the Department on Aging partner with us on that is for the person-centered options counseling, but also for Medicare counseling. So you're probably all familiar with what used to be termed MAP, Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program. So that moniker has gone away, and it's all under the umbrella of My Options now. There's pretty extensive requirements as far as compliance and service delivery models and things are concerned, but I like to tell people that it's a different phone number and they put a new logo on it, but the person that's receiving the service is going to feel like they're just talking to a Wellwise staff, or they're just talking to a Lenawee Department on Aging staff like they always have. Does that work?
So I want to recognize Nicole serves a huge role for us as a Department on Aging. Not only does she do all the things in her daily life, part of her responsibilities is, just as she mentioned, being on that call. She's our ear to the state. She keeps us informed so that we can keep doing what we do and know that we're going to have support and funding and appropriate guidelines that we can follow. She's been our champion for a long time, and I really appreciate all the work you do, Nicole. Thank you for being here today and everything you do.
I echo that. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of information. I couldn't write fast enough. All right, we're down to the Department on Aging Director's report. That would be you.
That would be me.
It would be you.
Well, I'm reporting I'm tired,
Okay.
but it's a good tired. It's a good tired. Today was our annual in-service meeting. It was a great day. It always takes so long to get here and goes by so fast, just like Christmas. But really a great turnout today. We met with our staff and our volunteer drivers come together as well. And we kind of staged the day so that we stay together for some and separate for others. I think it was a great uplifting day. It's an opportunity for us to look at I keep saying it's the mountains we've climbed, the things that we don't think about day to day. In fact, when I started the meeting, I started with that same phrase and said to the group, so what mountains have you climbed? Nothing. So I started with the home services and still nothing. The home services had an amazing accomplishment this year, moving toward the Dylan, what's it called? Mobile track, so that they're all working through their phones and checking in and checking out. It has reduced our paperwork. It is by far sped up our payroll process, and we are being much more accurate and timely in returning mileage checks. So all those things have really helped our team in general, and they just sat there and looked at me because they're now doing it for 6 months. It's just normal and natural, and they didn't even think that they'd climb that mountain. So The home services team, they did know they climbed a mountain. The nutrition team. They left the meeting today and moved the Adrian kitchen. So their stuff is there. I don't know if it's put away, but the stuff is there. And it was a great day for them. Tomorrow they get some additional training, but as you know, the ribbon cutting is tomorrow at 2:00. I hope that is on your schedule to attend. I think it's a phenomenal partnership between two great entities who are making some big changes, and we thank the commissioners and Administrator Murphy. Thank you, Chairman Van Dorn, for standing behind us and making that happen, because it's a dream come true to be there. So I hope you'll be there to watch us open that. Monday is a practice run, and Tuesday we are live cooking from that site. We have had the volunteer drivers had the opportunity to come through on Tuesday, I think, and view it, and that was a very positive opportunity as well. We had a lot of people in the out and out in the in, but in the end, we'll know where to come and pick up their meals, and that will be a great thing. Our foster grandparent program is experiencing a large recruitment. In the next week or two, you'll start to see some information out there in the media, Facebook, radio ads, other such things. In recruiting, we write the grant based on 20 people, and she has significantly reduced that number this year. Just life has happened. So it's time to build that program back up. Excuse me. Way too much talking today. I think those are our major accomplishments or things happening this month. I don't know that there's anything in particular on our numbers.
I will say, take a break a second.
Okay, I'll go away.
I was at that meeting this morning, and I don't know how many people were. 80? Room full. And she handled the meeting, and very, very enthusiastic. I hadn't seen all the employees in one room too many times. Both of them did a heck of a great job handling the employees, and they were all very happy. They were all very conscious people. Every time I get around one of them, they can't help but impress you. So it was a tremendous thing that happens every year, and I was pleased to be there. Now, you got your breath?
We'll find out.
Okay.
I don't see anything that might alarm or either positive or negative on our highlight sheet. So unless you have questions for it, we're down to the last month. So when you get the next statement, it will have the completion of this fiscal year. But at the end, according to this, we are 74% of budget spent.
Carrie, I know Terry had mentioned about the budget, the state budget, federal budget. How is that going to impact?
Well, we're gonna follow Nicole because our money's through her. We're okay.
Okay,
Are we concerned? Sure. Why wouldn't we be?
yeah.
But as far as we know, we have contingency, we have a plan. As Nicole said, we have a contingency plan that we write for them. We've written a contingency plan for the county. I think that we are okay until we need to know how to figure things out.
Mhm.
Our services shouldn't change drastically
Yeah.
at any point. We just wait and see.
Okay. Are you done? Down to existing business. I'm not sure what that is right now.
Well, in the past, it's been the kitchen.
The kitchen.
It's in the past has been the kitchen.
Okay, that's true.
It might be past business soon.
Yeah. That is, again, that's tomorrow too, right?
It is tomorrow at 2:00
Okay.
at the campus.
Then we're down to new business, and I'm going to start with that new business here, unless somebody else has something.
I do have a question based on existing business. How is the donation rate updates coming along or received or et cetera?
We're gently walking through that. Anybody who's getting the home services, that really won't go out until the November statements because it will go in effect October 1st. So in our September statements, we'll send them a note that says, it's coming. And then, so haven't had that yet. The centers have started sharing with participants. And some of the responses, what took so long? So I think we will be okay in that. And it is a donation. It's a suggested donation.
Mhm.
They feel that $3 is what they want to continue to contribute, then $3 is what they continue to contribute.
All right, thank you.
Okay. In the new business area, I'm going to start today. You have to bear with me here because I'm going to read this. All right, it's a certificate of appreciation for Darwin. In heartfelt gratitude for your many years of dedicated service on the Lenawee County Department of Aging Advisory Board from February 2008 to September this year. Your caring spirit, wise guidance, and steady support have helped shape programs and services that make the life better for older adults throughout Lenawee County. You've been a trusted voice for seniors and a value member of this team. We deeply appreciate the time and energy and passion you have given to this mission. We thank you for the lasting difference you have made in the community. We present with warmest appreciation this certificate, 25th day of September, 2025. It's the most you'll hear from me today. Okay, any more new business?
I don't know whether this would be under new business or comment.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. As some of you know, I'm a volunteer for the meals, home delivered meals, my husband and I know we went to a new system. The old system was pretty easy. Last week, I had the opportunity to try the new system. I have some concerns about it. So maybe you can help me, Carrie. My husband and I do it. Okay, I'm a runner. We take his truck. We have the meals in the back, and he could just get one. They were in bags, all right, if you're not familiar with that. So if a client got a hot meal, they would get a brown bag. They would get their meal that's all sealed up. If they got a cold meal, they would have it in a white bag, and he would just pick up the bags, and then I would put them in another bag, and then I would be the runner. We went to this new system, and now they have all the food in a big, like, container, I'll say. And the volunteers have to now package up everything. So if a client gets a hot meal, okay, I've got to remember, I've got to put the hot meal. Then if they get a cold meal, I've got to put, okay, maybe they get milk, maybe they don't get milk. Maybe, they have a biscuit, put a biscuit in. And then So the volunteers are doing the job. And last week it wasn't bad because it was nice weather. And okay, I could stand outside of the truck and put everything in the bag and away I go. I'm concerned with the volunteers with winter coming and rain. Okay, that's one concern that I have. I'm also concerned that maybe we're going to be losing some volunteers that, okay, now, they have to look, what does the client get? And do they get milk? Oh, no milk. And it's kind of confusing. Now, most of our volunteers are probably 70s, 80s, okay? So I'm concerned that we may be losing some volunteers. So I guess my question to you is, why did they go to the new system? Did it save money? Did it save, why? Why did we go to the,
It is intended to save us both time, product, and we are in a better system. I'm not comfortable answering those questions or giving more than that without that conversation with Connie.
okay,
Connie is
all right,
spearheading that, and that conversation really needs to be had with Connie as a sit down and have a conversation.
okay. I would like to.
But it was not done without lots of planning, lots of thought, lots of review of other programs. It wasn't
Okay.
just decided to do this because we thought it would be fun. It was part of our process of
Yeah,
moving us forward.
because it works so good. I mean, they did have, if a client did not get milk, they had a big black X on the bag. So you knew, okay, the client's not getting milk, so I'll take the brown bag with the big X. If it was a cold, they had the X on the white bag. So it was pretty easy. But now when you're out in the elements, I'm going to say, if it's raining and you're there trying to say, okay, does the client get milk? I'm not quite sure. I've got to check my other list. It's putting a lot more responsibility on the volunteers. So, but I'd like to sit down with Connie.
I
And-
invite you to do
and-
that. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the answer.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You had that under new business, didn't you?
I didn't know whether it was a comment or new business.
Well, we have public comment. I don't think there's any public here.
Well, wait. I might have a couple things.
You have a couple things?
I
Well,
do.
There is board member comment coming up. too, so Go ahead.
I'm technically not a board member.
Okay. I know.
The Department on Aging is part of the Walk to End Alzheimer's. The
Mhm.
walk will be before our next meeting. It is October 5th. I would tell you what time it starts, but memory isn't as good as I'd like it to be today. I believe it's 1 o'clock. 12:30 is when, the presentation starts. I have been challenged to raise $100 this week, to complete my bingo card. My bingo card are increments of $1, $2, $5, $10, or $15. So if anybody felt it in their heart to help me complete my bingo card, I'd be great.
Registration starts at 11:30. There's a ceremony at 12:45 and the walk starts at 1 o'clock.
I see under Carrie's report for last month, there is a pop bottle drive. Where do we bring those bottles or cans?
To me,
Okay,
or I can pick them up.
okay.
Right. Any other comment? We're down to board member comment. Before we get to the adjournment here, is there anything else? And go ahead.
Couple things. First of all, I want to say we're just as excited as all of you are and Carrie is on the opening of the new youth center and the new kitchen. And we can't say enough about the collaboration that our administrator and her assistant administrator put together and working with the department agency and Carrie's input to put that kitchen in there. So it's just an exciting time for Lenawee County and for your organization and our organization. Another point, as the newest member of the Wellwise Board, I'm learning as we go along, but I'm going to tell you, of all the committees I sit on, it's hard to get a feeling of where you're going, but in a very short time, I have learned to very well respect the staff and how they operate up there and also the due diligence of their board of directors. They just do a phenomenal job up there. So I can speak highly for the organization and what they do. Finally, on the point of the budget, and I don't know if Administrator Murphy wants to comment more on that because she does an in-depth dive and keeps us all straight on the county budget, but we're all in the same boat here. We have no idea. I mean, now we have the federal government hanging over us as
Yeah.
well as the state government. You know, all we can do is plan as we know what we have available today, and then we'll have to adjust as we go along. But right now at the county level, we're very, very concerned because revenue sharing is at the hands of our state legislature. We have finally, after 20 years, got it back to getting our money back from when they borrowed that supposedly some 20 years ago. We're back up to full speed, and right now it looks like we very well could lose it all. So I don't know if the administrator wants to comment on that, but you know, we'll work through this together. Fortunately, as we've heard from our auditing firm, Lenawee County is in good financial fiscal shape, and we have good revenue for sustaining county government should we have some sort of shutdown, but it's still going to be very tough. So with that, I'll turn it over to Administrator Murphy.
So do you want to hear about our finances?
Well, first, don't you have a program coming up where the state of the county is involved, right?
We do have that coming up. Thank you for bringing that up. That is going to be November 19th at the ISD. It'll be an evening dinner. There is information that has gone out on that, and that is where I do give the state of the county and of what we've accomplished and where we're going. We are looking, if any of you have attended it in the past, I get up to the podium and I do a lot of talking. Well, we're going to change that up a little bit this year. So if you come, just know the format's going to look a little different. We may be a little more interactive, just to try to keep everyone from falling asleep while I rattle on. So,
Does that mean you're going to sing?
oh no, you don't want me to do that. But you may if you come. I said it's interactive, so who knows what that'll look like.
Plan on coming.
No, Board Chairman Van Doren is correct. And any of you that have been following what's going on at the state or federal level understand that September 30th is a really important date here. If they do not come to some sort of agreement, we kind of expect federal government may once again do another continuing resolution, which means they haven't adopted their budget, but they're going to push that can down the road a little bit more and continue to spend money until they can figure things out. At the state level, we have heard that we have 3 different budgets that have been proposed. The governor has a budget, Senate has a budget, and the House has a budget. The House budget had previously been quite a ways away as far as a significantly lower budget than the other 2. And a lot of the cuts that are being considered will impact county government in some of the programming that we have. Not necessarily Department on Aging, but we have several county departments, and it could impact some of the services that our residents have come accustomed to receiving. I have been told that there are discussions that are happening between the House and the Senate. There seem to be some verbal agreements on a few issues, but nothing has been put in writing and no votes have been taken on anything. So we are waiting to see what happens there. when will we know? We will know September 30th, whether there's, or when we come back into work on October 1st, I should say, whether we actually have a state budget or not. The department heads here at the county have been excellent. I've been putting them through quite a bit. I recently sent a memo out and asked each of the departments to indicate if federal funding or state funding were to be paused or eliminated, what does that look like for your department? And and what kind of remediation steps or contingency plans do you have? So I've been receiving those all this week so that we can be prepared. Commissioner Van Doren is correct. Our forefathers, previous commissions and administrators have placed us in a very good financial condition. So we will be able to hold the line for a while and continue services. Come October 1, we don't plan on discontinuing any services, but we are watching it very closely. Now, state offices and state services, if the budget is not agreed to by October 1, you will see those services close up. As an example, Secretary of State's office will close. There's a number of services, if you happen to have reservations at a state campground after October 1, or if you are there on October 1, you will be kicked out because the state park will close down. So there's a number of different services and things that will be impacted by a shutdown, but at this point, I just had a meeting with some state representatives yesterday, or not representatives as far as legislators, but people who work with the state who have been advised that they have not been told whether they should or should not report to work on Monday. They have not been given a notice other than, hey, if we haven't been told that we have a budget by the end of the day, on the 30th, don't come to work on the 1st. So they're just waiting to see. They're significantly impacted by this. They're going based on COVID experience of what is considered essential and what isn't essential, because they have not been advised either. This go around with the budget shutdown, who is essential and who is not. So there's a lot going on. Thank goodness we aren't in that position. So we will continue to operate county government as we have been and kind of monitor that. I don't know how long a shutdown, if it happens, will last. Nobody knows that. But we have indicated to our staff and our departments that if the shutdown continues more than 2 weeks, we need to come together and start talking about what measures we may need to take to pause different programs and stuff until we get some solidification from the state. So there.
You
Good news, sorry.
More by November 19th, right?
I know, by November 19th, I certainly hope we know a lot more by November 19th, yes.
Nothing like ending the meeting on a positive note.
Yes, I hear you. You started it. Okay. Well, with that, I think I'm looking for an adjournment. It's moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, we are adjourned.